Hey folks, I have a 1994 Chevy G20, a Diamond Tierra conversion van. We've had it for a couple of years. Nice big van, real comfortable, but the rear air conditioning was not working. And I looked and looked and looked and looked for, where's the motor? Is it an electrical problem? Is it a fuse problem? There's just really my wife and I and the occasional guests, so the rear air conditioning wasn't all that important. But finally I wanted to fix it. So after much research and such, I finally found out what I needed to do. I had a couple of mechanics look at it. They couldn't figure it out. So I just wanted to do this brief video just to give you a real quick what I figure is the solution. Now, for all I know, there's an easier way to do this, or somebody that you can take it to in your town who has done 100 of these and knows exactly what to do. But I didn't have that or couldn't find that. So this is where the motor is. This is the rear of the van. To my right, of course, is the outside. And there's this box here. Now yours might look a little bit different than mine, but this is a 1994 Chevy Diamond Tierra conversion van. Okay, so there was just a couple of clips down here for holding this box down, so that was easy. You may have a couple of screws somewhere else. This is just an empty box for storage. Nothing in there. I may have been able to take off these screws instead to get inside, but anyway, getting the whole box off seemed like a better idea. So the whole box comes off. I'm about halfway done with the job now. And then down behind the box, what you'll find is this black box in there. This is the fan motor that I've already taken out, and it slides. It's already partly apart, but it slides back inside there, okay? And this cover was on the front. And this says Advanced Air AM Distributing Incorporated, Elkhart, Indiana 46514. Gives a serial number, something about warranty claims, and a phone number. And so anyway, I had called them a year and a half ago or so and never really got anywhere. I can't actually remember exactly what that was about, but I thought, okay, I have to dig into this again. So this top piece, has to come out, or should come out, so that the motor and the motor housing can come out. Problem is, this is, air conditioning coils, and it's hooked up with a hard line. You can't see it, but it's down in there on the left side. And so to pull the whole box out, I believe the air conditioning line would have had to been disconnected, the system depressurized, and you'd have to go through all of that. So then the only other way to get into the motor is to try to remove this top cover. It does separate here, okay, but it's screwed on around the back side. There were 3 screws here, 1, 2, 3, and then there's 3 across the back, and you can't get to those back screws without taking the whole box out. And again, you can't take the whole box out unless, it looks like to me, you actually disconnect the air conditioning line and depressurize the system. And I didn't want to do that. So I thought, well, what the heck? I took a Dremel tool and I just cut this front piece out. Okay, just cut it out. I'm going to put it back on there because this does need to be a sealed system so that the airflow is correct, right? The air from inside the van is going to come in through there, and it's going to go up through there, and then there's two hoses here, ducts. Probably one goes to the left side of the van and one to the right side of the van, and so that all has to remain intact. So when I put this back together, I'll just put that on there, and I'll use some duct tape probably or something like that to seal that all back up. And then to get the motor out, the motor was actually screwed to this top piece with 4 screws. There was one there were 2 in the middle, and 1 on the other side. And that was a little bit hard to get back in there, especially to the second screw. But I just used wrench like this. It's all the nuts are 1/4 inch, so I used that, and it took a little bit of time, but it was easy enough to get it out. Okay, so then this piece can be pulled out. Okay, and what this looks like put together is like that. Okay, that's exactly how it would fit with those duct openings facing up. And if you can see, there's one of the screws, screw holes. There's two more right in the middle, and another one on the left. So, and then that dropped off the top, there, and came out. Okay, so then there were a few more screws holding this together. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then this comes apart. And then what you have is the motor in the middle, which was burned out. I actually tried to spray some WD-40 in there, you know, around where I could see some parts rotating. And the RPMs actually increased a little bit, and I thought, oh great, I fixed it. But that didn't work. So I had to order a new motor, and I got it off of Amazon. No, it wasn't Amazon, it was somebody else. But all I did was type in, I just took a picture here, and then went to my computer and typed that in, and that says Fasco 12 volt, and then there's a number below it. It says 2807-510-143, made in Canada. I just typed that into Google, and up popped a couple of websites for replacement motors, and the motor was $43, I think, or $47. There was another place that had it for $39, but the website didn't look as good as this other one. I just trusted it more, so I went with the $43 price, and then it was about $9 shipping. Might have been $47, like I said. So anyway, so this motor pops out, just comes right out of there. There was a piece of this kind of rubber stickiness that was resting in there, holding the motor and maybe providing just a little bit of vibration insulation or something. I'm not sure, but I'll be putting that back on the new motor. So then this pops out. Then you have a squirrel cage on both sides, one on that side and one on the other side. And then you got to undo those clips. Hope the camera focuses, but you have to undo those clips down in there. Let's try this. Anyway, there you go. They're kind of a spring clip. And then I had to pull pretty doggone hard to get the squirrel cage off of this side. I'm imagining I'm going to have to do the same thing on the other side, but it was a lot of force. I mean, I was almost afraid I was going to break something. And if those squirrel cages break, well, I never looked for replacing those, but who knows? They may be hard to find. I don't know. Also, you might want to check before you go through all this, is here's the electrical connection, and I did check to make sure that there was voltage coming back. And the motor did run a little bit from time to time. Mostly it just froze and stayed motionless. But if I pushed it a little bit, it would run a little bit. So I knew there was electrical coming from the back, from the front. I also checked that last year. I checked that switch. I checked fuses. So make sure your electrical is working before you go through all this. And then I'm just going to reverse the whole process, right? I'm going to, here's the new motor right there. Okay. This one says, it's a different company, I guess. Okay, the last one was made in Canada. This one's made in China. Okay, but that says BCM 12 volt. You know, then there's some other numbers and such, but you'll have no problem Googling, you know, the original number from the original equipment, and you'll see, you know, the parts that you need. And this particular motor, oh, that was the other thing. The cheaper motor that was about $8 less expensive, it did not come with this connector. So I was going to have to, you know, use the old connector and splice and whatever. And, you know, not that hard, but I just thought, well, for an extra $8 or whatever it is, I'd rather have the connector and be able to do a little more plug and play. So I'm going to put that back in there, attach the squirrel cages, and then button the whole thing back up. Hope this helps somebody, because like I said, it took me about 1.5 years, 2 years of, you know, paying attention to this once every 3 months, especially in the summer. We don't drive this van that much, so it wasn't too big of an emergency, but it was a pretty big mystery for me. So I hope this helps. All right, buddies, take care. Bye-bye.